Hey guys, remember when I decided to put some mulch here because the drain didn't go all the way down to the gravel driveway? Well, I got carried away and I added all of these plants too. There were signs in spring that this wasn't going to work out. It was blocking too much water. Rainwater was flowing down the entire yard, not just the drain, and now it was blocked by the soil and the mulch I put there. This drain is working like a charm though, still growing strong. I really did not want to move these plants. I like my plants, but I had to move them, most of them anyway. So I had to remove all of these wood chips and lower the soil level back down. Okay, so here it is after I've scraped all the layers off so the water can be guided and go through instead of being blocked. The drain is working really well. Just giving you a quick look there. By the way, this year, 2022, in summer, we had a really bad drought. It lasted about a month without any rain at all. It was very unusual. I began to do some digging here to guide the water into this spot, and later you'll see I'm going to add some gravel here. The gravel is going to do two things. One, it's going to create space for the water to go and also allow me to walk in this area without getting wet. Basically, the gravel creates a bridge. The water can still flow, but you can walk on top. Another issue was the end of the drainage pipe. It was a little bit too high. Also, there was just too much wiggle room. I'm going to try these weird looking spiraled anchors. First, I need to dig so I have some space to lower the pipe. This first attempt was too loose. Positioning them closer together created a tighter connection. In retrospect, I really should have dug deeper, even though I was tired, and filled it with gravel instead of soil, because I think this is the cause of the original problem. The ground probably froze and thawed and and created the upheaval, and that's why the pipe was higher than it should have been. I'm not sure this is going to keep the pipe down, but we'll see. It's going to be an experiment. Since I don't have gravel at this point, I decided to plant the grass seed to replace the mulch and prevent weeds from taking over. The grass seed I planted filled out really nicely. It's turf type tall fescue. It's a bunching grass, so you have to reseed it if you have any holes. It won't fill on its own, but I think it looks really nice and it's a very tough grass. There are some leaves still on the ground in the way, but you can get a sense of the change, I think. I'll put a before and after picture so you can see. This gravel driveway needs some work, so I've scraped out a lot of muddy gravel over here and replaced it with new clean gravel. This will help guide the water across the gravel driveway and away. I just did that one little spot. You could tell by the light color of the gravel there. For now, and maybe forever, the gravel trench doesn't meet up with the gravel driveway. This seems to be enough of an improvement, and I can always reevaluate it later. Now let's take a look at some video of it in action. Definitely better than before, a lot less pooling of water. It's all the way on the right side now, out of the way of the arbor walkway. And the pooling disappears faster than it did before after a rain. It's not perfect, but it is a big improvement. This is that gravel bridge I mentioned before. The water is flowing freely through it, and you can walk over that little strip of gravel now without getting wet. You could see how the water flows freely through the gravel. It's not blocking it. Last night we had some strong winds and really freezing temperatures, and this is when our neighbor's fence, this panel at least, fell apart. From what I've read, extreme weather like last night or poor installation or a combination of these can cause this to happen. My husband helped him put it back together. He's growing some beautiful fruit trees, and they're protected by the fence from deer, maybe rabbits too, but not from groundhogs or squirrels. Besides letting water flow unimpeded, another good thing about gravel is that it prevents ice buildup, or at least allows you to walk over it without any worry about slipping on it, because it's under the gravel. That new gravel there is doing exactly that. Eventually we'll do something like this for the rest of the driveway. Our neighbor's yard water flows through our driveway as well. He was kind of hinting that we should pave it, but I really think that would make things a lot worse, besides being super expensive. We live next to swamplands after all. I really like these red twig dogwoods. I read a lot about dogwoods before choosing these. This cultivar is called Cardinal. They have a bright red cheerful color, unlike many others that are more dark blood red. I have a little rebar on this one to help it grow a little bit straighter. They're very tolerant of these wet conditions, and they're taking the part shade well. Deer have been nibbling on them a little bit, but they're still growing at a faster rate than the deer have been eating them. Hopefully they'll continue to do well, put on size, and create a nice green soft frame in summer, and a great big colorful display in winter when they're big. See that one over there on the right side of the arbor? That's a different kind. It's called Midwinter Fire. It kind of has a two-tone color. It's very light and very intense, but it doesn't like sun very much. That's practically in full shade when that cherry tree leaves out in summer. I had a midwinter fire on the left side, and it just did so poorly in the sun. At least in summer, it just did not like that sun beating down on it. It barely grew, and when it did, it grew sideways as if to escape the sun. So I moved that one to a different location. This one's much happier. You could see how much it grew since last year. If you prefer yellow, this one has really nice consistent color. However, the deer here nibble on this one even more than the others, especially those spring flower buds. These red twig cardinal dogwoods can get up to 10 feet without pruning, whereas the midwinter fire gets only around 6 feet. Well, that pretty much wraps up this video. what I've done is a bit unusual, but this property does have unique challenges. And after all, I'm not professional, and even the professionals sometimes don't know what to do, or they don't have the best aesthetic looking solution. So we'll see how this goes. And it was kind of fun working on it, to some extent. I left that planter there. I had gomphrena growing in it. It's such a pretty flower. Unfortunately, rabbits were eating it, and they ate it all the way down to the ground. Moved it over here and put it in a pot, and that seemed to give it protection. The rabbits never found it for some reason. It recovered really nicely. Aside from various things trying to eat it, it makes a really nice annual plant here. Well, thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time.